just walking by this guy who's all curled up in a ball. He's a kid, like, I don't know, 20, all curled up in a ball, just like yelling, holy shit, oh no, oh holy, all this crazy stuff, right? So I walk by him, I'm like, you okay, buddy? And he looks right up at me and he's like, oh yeah, I'm fine. I'm like, alright, man, God loves you. And just fucking kept rolling. So day 4, right, of no 7-0. I don't know, I feel alright. It was a little kind of shitty yesterday, but I mean, I've withdrawn from it a couple times already. And this is the last time. There's no need to go back to there. In fact, I've been to the 7-0 store since to buy incense and a small bag of powder kratom. And I walked in, and the guy goes right over to the 7-0 counter to open it because he saw me. And I'm like, nope. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah. He goes, wow, man, good for you. He was so nice about it and seemed genuinely happy for me that I was like, wow, even if I want to go back to it, I just feel like a fucking asshole now after he was so nice to me about it. But yeah, it's fine today. Yesterday was, you know, there's some crappy withdrawal parts to it. But the thing is, I mean, I'm on powder kratom too. I've been on it for years. So it's like that probably alleviates some of it. But the thing about this withdrawal that's weird and comparative to withdrawals I've had in the past from opioids, which I mean is the same thing, but this is more of a synthetic. It's super synthetic. And I'll get to that. I'll put a pin in that because I want to talk about that too. But the when you are withdrawing from opioids, it's sort of like a slow march, right? The first day off, you feeling like determined because you're like, yeah, fuck it, I'm done with this shit. And then it's still in your system from the day before, so you're getting through it. It's the second day that you separate the mice from the men. It's like, fuck, oh. But it's a slow process. You feel shitty, you start having a runny nose, it's kind of like a flu-ish type of feel, and then the cravings and all that kind of stuff. It kind of goes up like a roller coaster. It goes up, 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 up. And if you can hang in until it comes down the other side, you know, most people can't. I couldn't for years. I couldn't with this either. But the difference with this, with the withdrawal with this, is you're feeling fine 1 minute, like, hey, something, I don't feel anything. And then it hits you, and you're like, It hits you in short bursts. Short, intense bursts. It's like the difference between instant release and XR medication. But, you know, like it's not rolled out slowly. It's fucking weird. What it does is it kind of makes me feel like it reminds you that there's a very synthetic nature to this. It's unlike anything, you know, we've had around before. But yeah, day 4, I'm like feeling all right, you know. There's a 7-0 store over there. In fact, I'm going there later to get incense. I'm not gonna buy any 7-0. Now, hopefully it's in the rearview mirror for me. You never know. I don't want to say never, because the last time I did that, I was right back on it within like a day. So I'm not going to make any sort of proclamations, but day 4, no 7-0. Pretty good so far. There's this YouTuber named Goblin, a guy that talks about drugs. He you know, covers drugs and the different effects of them, and he's been doing some stuff on 7-0. And before he was going to do a story on it, I guess, the guy the guy. This is some deep information with a lot of sources. It's on his channel. He can give you the names, I guess. But one of the guys who helped formulate 7.0, one of the main dudes who got the whole thing going, sent him a letter, an email. A letter. He sent him a letter by Raven. He sent him an email, and the email said, "Hey, I'd love to come on your show or your channel and talk to you about this. But first, I need to have a conversation with you off the record." He said, "There are some things that I'm not allowed to say. There's some important things about it I think you should know. Blah, blah, blah." I'm on COVID. That doesn't exist. And he said, "I helped create this monster." called it a monster. And then admitted to being very addicted to it himself, and that there are things about it that he can't I guess say, you know, and he mentioned lawyers and stuff, so he wanted to talk to him off the record. Now the Goblin guy was like, "No, I'm not doing that," you know, because he's like, he has some integrity, right? So he didn't have the talk with them. But it was eye-opening to see one of the main dudes who helped create 7.0 refer to it as a monster, you know, because it's like, it's taken over. It's fucking taken, it's in, when it first showed up here in October, I think that shop that I go to was the only one that had it, and they were the only one that had it for a while. And we were introduced to it the same way everybody else was. They had these sample packets that they would give to people, and they were saying that this is a Kratom product. Oh yeah, it's a new Kratom product. You know, that's how it was sold to me. I mean, they're not selling anything to me. It's just that that's what they knew. That's what they were told. And they give out free samples. And you take the free samples and you're like, holy shit, that's good. Because it's basically fucking, you know, drugs. All right, well, if these people are going, I'm going. I was going to let that guy go, but, you know, man. Sometimes I try to be the lone considerate guy and then end up waiting somewhere for 2 hours. But, yeah, and that's what happened everywhere. And now, as I said very early on, this ain't got nothing to do with Kratom. It's taking, in layman's terms, they're taking one aspect of the Kratom and they're bringing it into the lab and supercharging it. One of the parts that make you feel good, and putting it on steroids. And marketing it as a Kratom product, it's not. It has nothing to do with that. For proof of that, when I was having withdrawals from it, I was trying to double up on my regular powder Kratom that I take every day. It was not helping. It was not helping because it's a different substance. It's a whole different substance. Excuse me, hang on a second. Yesterday, was it yesterday? I don't know, they all kind of run together. There was a knock on my door, and it was the plumber. He's working on a department next door, and he wanted to see where my sink line. He's asking about my sink line. He was just like, "Is your sink on this, you know, far wall?" And I'm like, "Just come in and look at it." So I let him in, and I am wearing only these very small, very gay-looking skull underwear, nothing else. And I was going through, sorting my action figures out to try to group them up and to store them better. And the whole entire floor is covered with action figures, like as if I was having this big, like, War of the Rings kind of play session. Oh my God, my long COVID. It'll kill us all. I don't care about that kind of shit anymore. I just, whatever, you know. But he comes in and he's like, "Oh wow, this is cool. He's looking at everything. He's like, this looks awesome in here. Pretty funny. You know, things are different like now than they were maybe even 10 years ago. The acceptance for that kind of shit, and it is goofy and adolescent to have that kind of stuff. But people aren't as, like, I guess, shocked by it anymore. To see a grown man in tiny skull underwear having a huge war on his floor. I wasn't having a huge war, but it looked like it. I told him I was. I think, yeah, well, while the wife's at work, I'm just having a big skirmish. And he's like, oh yeah, cool. Before him, another guy a few days before that came to paint the door, and he has to come in the apartment because the door swings in, and he's looking around at everything. He's like, oh wow, hey, did you see the last Venom movie? And just starts talking to me about that stuff. It's pretty funny. Like, I think people are more conditioned to that kind of stupid shit. Speaking of stupid shit, I'm gonna run into Ross and see if I can get any. $1.49 at Ross. I can't leave that in there. I don't really have room for it either, but $1.49, I can't walk away from that. I'm only so strong. You can't, I stopped to light the cigarette, but I already saw the security looking at me to come out to tell me, you can't smoke in front of the bank. It's like, I know. You can't really, that's one of the things I've mentioned before about, like, Waikiki. You really can't stop anywhere because people will mong you almost immediately. They're all trying to go up your ass crack anyway, like fucking right now. It's weird. Well, because they're not real. I went over this before yesterday, so it's settled science. 95% of the bodies you see out here are just part of the system. They're a system asset, like this fucking tree here. They're here to enhance your experience. Dolores Claiborne. Why do I always call it that? I have fucking makeup on mine. She called them background people. You know, the term Hilux is another one. They're just here to kind of, I think, be a nuisance and challenge you. But they're part of the system, and it's absolutely real. That's why, like, sometimes you may be amazed that people don't have awareness. You're like, how the fuck do they not know that I'm right here, or this is right here, or they don't realize that? They're just for show, a lot of them. It's alright though. It's a very schizo idea, but it's also absolutely true. That's a good thing about it. So yeah, 7.0 as a product is fucking great. They did a good job with that. Like, for setting out to make something that's going to get you messed up, and also be very addictive. I'm sure that's part of it. I mean, they want their product and stuff. Good job. If you can do it, and, you know, not go overboard with it, or do it casually, fucking, it's great. You know, heroin's great if you can do it casually, but you don't see it a lot. You know, hey, we're going camping this weekend. Oh yeah? Yeah, well, we're gonna fucking go get fucked up on heroin over the campsite. Oh, cool. You know, it's not really a casual thing. Or if you think it's gonna be a casual thing, it stops being a casual thing almost immediately. Because that's where I was at with the 7.0 at one point. I'm like, I'm just gonna do it once in a while. I even said that. So does that make it settled science? Yes, it does. But you know, science can change. Even when it's settled, we've seen that too. You know, the whole Cove thing a few years ago really made it so that you can play fast and loose with any of this stuff. And it's just as valid as, you know, any K's-R in a lab coat saying the same thing. You know, I'm only going off what they established, you know what I mean? I'm not, I don't know. I'm just a fucking just a guy talking into his phone. But yeah, I mean, as far as a product, you know, mission accomplished. But if you can do it casually, fine. But most people that are drawn to that kind of thing, it's marketed, right, for either current addicts or recovering addicts. Goblin was showing some of the companies that sell it, the brand names. One was like Perk, the other was Perks, and the 7-0 pills were like little blue, like the Percocets were. It's fucking crazy. Like, it's pretty obvious who they're marketing it to, and he's also mad about, and rightfully so, about Cheech and Chong. They sell like supplements and stuff. They were selling it on their site as cosmic lewds or something. Like, there's no regulation on the way they can sell this to people, apparently. They don't have to put warnings on the label, nothing about addiction. The only part of the messaging they want to get across is that it's a kratom product. It absolutely is not. It's like the fucking Paul Stanley example. It's like putting him in Earth, Wind, and Fire and putting him on steroids and calling it Kiss. It's like, it's not, you're taking something from one thing and putting it into another, and then you have Nirvana 2025. Illuminati confirmed. Yeah, so so I'm done with 7-0. I'm gonna go to the store, the 7-0 store, right now to buy incense for the house, and yeah, I'll pick it up when they come out. I'm gonna walk in there and now you're gonna look at the 7-0. Now, if it's someone that last time I was in there, I got one of the regulars that I know, that guy who is really happy for me. If it's someone I see regularly, they're probably gonna go right over to the 7-0 counter thing, and I'm gonna say, "I contrary, mon frere. No, I don't smoke it no more. Tired of waking up on the floor. No, thank you, please. It only makes me sneeze. And then I find it hard to find the door." I got one of the regular girls in the store, but she must have heard I quit because she didn't even ask me. I'm sure that the guy that's there at night, that they're all really cool there. They're all nice people. I'm sure he probably told her, but yeah, she didn't ask or go over or anything, so she must have known. But yeah, I got some incense, pumpkin spice incense, and I got a free bag of powder kratom. That's the only fucking thing I got out of spending thousands and thousands of dollars in the 6 months that I was on it, is that I got a lot of free powder kratom. They have this point system there, something star, not coin star, but shop star, I don't know the fuck it is. But when you spend a certain amount of money, you get back points that can then go toward things in the store. And different size bags of powder kratom is one of them. So I went in there, bought my incense, and got a small bag of kratom. Yeah, I think it wasn't even like a thing where I was like tempted. I looked over at it, and I was like, I think the thing that helps me is that I've been through like I was through a really bad addiction like years ago with the Percocet, opioid type stuff, and it was just such a nightmare that if I hadn't been through that already, I'd probably have a much harder time getting off it. But yeah, when I made up my mind about it, that I wasn't going to fuck around and really I was going to stick to it, it was kind of just done. It's just done. One of those things now. You know, just that one of those things I don't do. And that's that. So yeah. I don't want to say for certain, like, this is the end of the 7.0 journey. It's too bad, too, because the 7.0 videos are the only ones that got any traction out of any videos in the last 6 months. I mean, that's not why I do this. If it was, I would just pretend I was still addicted to it. But yeah, a lot of people are interested in it because it's kind of a new thing, you know. There's not a lot of information about it, and people are confused. I mean, I talked to people in the comments, and I've seen them in the store come in and go like, "Oh, the new kratom thing, huh?" And they think it's like, you know, the kratom pills. It's fucking not. It's not. So something will be done eventually about this, and I hope it doesn't affect regular kratom. I had a theory that this was made to affect regular kratom, because as long as they call it a kratom product, people that don't understand the difference would be like, "Wow, look at what kratom's doing to people. They're lining up at these stores and they're going crazy over this new kratom product. We got to get rid of kratom, because they've been trying to get rid of it." So, I mean, is this a backdoor way to do it? We're gonna see. Possible. I don't fucking put anything by those weirdos. Well, until then, thanks for dropping in. Nice to see everybody. And until next time, don't blame the teacher, blame the school.